Mobile World Congress 2019 feels like the Huawei show. Everybody's talking about them for one reason or the other. They're sponsoring everything. Their logo is everywhere. Let's go and see what all the fuss is about. So you can see from the size of the place, it's like the TARDIS in here. It just goes on for miles and miles, it feels like. And this is only one of Huawei's stands. And the size of this place really reflects the growth of this company in recent years. They are now the largest smartphone maker in China. They're probably going to overtake Apple and Samsung at some point. That's partly the problem that Huawei faces today. They've become so big and powerful that Western governments, particularly the US, have started to ask questions about whether they should be allowed into the telecoms networks at all, but particularly heading into the world of 5G. Unlike 3G and 4G, which were very much smartphone network technologies, 5G is going to have a much more profound impact on industry. It will mean faster phones, faster downloads, but also you'll have factories, hospitals, cars on the road connecting to this network. There's a suggestion there could be 1 trillion things connected to 5G networks in the future. So that's why governments are starting to ask very serious questions about who the vendors are and what equipment's going to go into the networks. Now for Huawei, they argue they're miles ahead of the competition. Their network is cheaper, not on price, but on ownership. So the cost of running it, smaller antennas, lower power consumption. These are very boring things, but if you're a network and you're looking to deploy a 5G network as cheaply as possible, this is very important stuff. And Huawei is really on a charm offensive to get that message across.
Huawei are making a big presence, as ever. They're always very present and very prominent at Mobile World Congress. This year, I think, they are trying, to establish a positive spin on their offering in 5G. So it's something which is differentiating them from the others, particularly focusing on total cost of ownership, so nitty-gritty stuff like the weight of the masts and the power consumption. I think they're trying to build that up as a differentiator so that when pressure comes to exclude Huawei or to restrict Huawei from networks in some countries, Huawei's answer is, well, if you exclude us, you're excluding this, and so there's that kind of positive message that they're trying to convey, rather than trying to defend themselves against an attack, because that implies they've got to defend themselves against something.
In normal times, Huawei would probably be pretty confident that what we're seeing in here today will be enough for them to lead and possibly in future dominate the 5G world. However, also here are US officials urging European governments and telecoms companies not to use the equipment. They've just said that Huawei is a duplicitous and deceitful company. There are more than 2,000 Huawei employees here at Mobile World Congress, and yet the company declined to put someone forward to talk to us for this video. Next year's Mobile World Congress is probably going to be a good time to come back to this issue and to see whether Huawei or the Americans ultimately won the game.